Next we will have Cuban Mike, Michael Koehr. Give it up for Mike. The Cuban Koehr.
Get out back in!
Thank you.
Okay.
So let me just, I had to rearrange my speech during the break because strategically every point was mentioned. Softball. Anyway, I'm going to keep this short because I forgot to feed the meter. Earlier, Kelly saw my stage fright and she gave me some chamomile attention tamer tea. And I'm twice as nervous. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael Page. Many of you know me as the guy who travels in and out of Koehr parties, switching in and out of a Cuban Spanglish accent for no apparent reason. Lovingly known, thanks DJ, as Cuban Mike, or the 13th Koehr. Many of you might still think I recently escaped Havana under cover of nightfall on a raft, drifted my way to freedom. In fact, knowing the younger Koehrs, there are probably a few of you that believe that me and Kevin are non-fraternal twins who are separated at birth, serendipitously reunited on one of his missions. Sean and I actually connected at Notre Dame. I remember distinctly the evening. We were both like trying to make friends. And, we were in a room full of people about a quarter the size of this. And someone made an off-color joke and the room went silent. And him and I were the only ones that laughed. We've been friends ever since. The joke escapes me. Let's see here. It wasn't long before Sean invited me back for Christmas break to meet the rest of the Koehr family. That thus began my family naturalization process. Naturalization and citizenship for a 3.5-year internship with Jim. I'm happy to report that I renewed my visa for 6 months. Depending on the speech. Sean, I feel like I've known you my whole life. You're closer than me, than my own brothers. If living with your family for 3.5 years didn't cement this, providentially reviewing 20 plus years of video of your family gatherings easily cemented the patterns and the proper decorum. Here. One thing I realized is that you can't talk about any of the Koehrs without mentioning the others. As I was trying to write this speech in the bathroom. Jim doesn't speak without honoring Colleen. The other Koehrs mentioned each other. Sean mentioned Kelly. And I can vouch for that. I had Bear the cat when I lived here, and Shane. And Shane. Can't add too much more to what was said about Sean by his dad. I thought that was really fitting. But I was sitting with some of his friends today telling them I need to write this speech. We were trying to come up with ideas. And the same things came up, he's a man that leads by example. I know on a personal level I have a few brothers that are pilots in the military. And the Koehrs have at least a dozen. And One thing I thought of really is Sean's humanity. He's a brother, he's a man's man first. He's a guy that, you know, he actually injured his ankle doing a twist spin like dance during a thought when we were, during one of those nights we mentioned, when he was concerned about the future. And his first concern was that he wouldn't be able to like run PT with the men, and he knew that you had to earn their respect, and yet you had to become one of them in order to open them up. And you know, on a personal level, I remember at one of the Koehr parties, one of Kevin's friends stopped me, and I was kind of taken back. It was, you know, country music and line dancing and children running everywhere in the pond. He said to me, I mentioned Sean, he said, like, how'd you meet the Koehr? I said, well, you know, we're classmates at Notre Dame. Did some work for Jim. And he told me something that I've heard repeated, you know, that you know, my brothers went on a number of tours, and that he had just come back from Afghanistan. I'd never met him. And he started to choke up in tears. And he said, man, that's amazing. You know, Sean's going to be a military chaplain. And that's when it kind of struck home that Sean's just not going to be a priest. He's going to be an even further calling, a call within a call, to support our men abroad. And one thing that they've mentioned is that they have nobody to talk to. This is what this guy told me. We go through this carnage. We don't have anyone to open up to. And Sean, I have full confidence that you will be that spiritual father. You're my best friend, and I'm trying to see if anything hasn't been said. I really appreciate you and your family, and I want to raise a glass. I wish, toast, Sean, acres away. May God grant you and all of your men and sailors under your care fair winds and fallow seas.
Thank you, Cuban Mike. Appreciate that.